What is one profession that you have absolutely zero respect for? Predatory tow companies. In Toronto, it was basically organized crime. There was full-on turf wars between companies where they were setting each other's trucks on fire. It was chaos. The government finally stepped in and did something about it, but I'm sure it's still going on to some degree. Not sure what to call them, but the people at the top of the MLM pyramids. A friend's wife got in on the top of an MLM scheme. It works, body wraps, if you remember those things. She legit made a shitload of money, while at the same time being the stereotypical MLMer on her FB posts, bragging about owning her own business, bragging about how much money she makes, bragging about being able to retire her husband. That last part was semi-true, as he did stop working for a year while she was making so much money doing it. Then they saw the writing on the wall. Revenue was dropping hard, which meant that their bonuses were also dropping big time. She eventually stopped with the at work stuff, and he got a job again. But yeah, I think they made somewhere around $500K in like 3 years. Enough to build a house and pay for it in cash. Payday loan sharks. I acknowledge there is a need for short-term, high-risk lending. It's the predatory practices that force people into a debt trap that I have an issue with. A while back I could have used a couple extra bucks, so I looked up a few of those places. I make enough that I don't have to use them, but it would have made things a little bit easier. Anyways, one place in particular boggled my mind. They offered a loan of $1,000 and the interest would have come to something like $250 for the loan. I really only needed $500, so I figured I could use the other half to get tires for my car, something I've been needing to do for a while. So I went to sign up. But it's not that simple. When I get there and they explain the loan to me, I just about flipped out. See, I was okay with paying 25% interest on $1,000, but it wasn't $1,000. What they do is advance you $200. You then make payments to pay off the full $1,000 that they lend you. Once you've paid it off, then they give you the other $800. So in reality, you're not paying 25% interest on a $1,000 loan. You're paying 125% on a $200 loan and a forced savings account. My ex-wife, against my insistence that she not, got a title loan on her car for $1,800. She paid $300 million for 6 months and still owed $1,800. I asked to see the paperwork, and it was a 205% 30-day loan. She had to pay the whole thing back in 30 days or she racked up late fees and penalties. When they finally hooked the car months later, the balance was over $6,000. They sent a letter that they had sold the vehicle at auction for $3,000 and that they would drop it, and she'd never hear from them again, and it wouldn't go on her credit provided she did not come after them for return of the vehicle. Call center scammers. People really have full-time 9-to-5 jobs dialing random phone numbers to steal money. Fucking losers. Does anybody actually answer phone calls anymore? It's all spam. If I don't know the number, they are welcome to leave a voicemail, is my policy. Online event ticket buyers PPL who try to predict the demand for an event, concert, sports, etc., and bulk buy tickets to resell at higher prices. There's a whole industry with companies built entirely with employees who are bidding and selling full-time. This is known as creating artificial scarcity. It doesn't provide any real value to the economy. Disney had to buy back tickets to Frozen. Speculators bought them and couldn't unload them because demand wasn't high enough. But then people who wanted them from the box office couldn't buy them at the cheaper box office prices. So those seats were just going empty, and no word of mouth was spreading. So Disney had to buy back its tickets from speculators so they could put them back on sale to the public. Why would Disney care though about buying them back? If they sold out tickets but no one came, would they care since the ticket revenue is still occurring? Because butts in seats is more important than just tickets sold. The empty seats are revenue for today, but then no one goes out and tells friends and relatives to see the show. It's why shows often paper the house when not doing well, because people seeing your show and spreading word of mouth is vital to its potential success. Those recruitment people for fake talent agencies. They do these whole presentations, often in person, to get new actors and models to sign up at the end with an initiation fee sometimes in the thousands. A lot of the people being scammed don't know the company is a scam until afterwards when they look them up on Yelp or the BBB. The recruiter usually seems legit. I don't know how they sleep at night knowing that's how they make the entirety of their income. My old roommate did this for a short while. They would go to a mall as a talent agency and film a short video of people for free, then call them and say they really want to represent them, only they need to take XYZ course to get jobs. They weren't a talent agency, they were just selling these useless courses to gullible teens. Nobody ever got a job through them. He quit after a month because he couldn't handle the guilt. Poachers. I get major schadenfreude when I see an article about a lion killing a poacher. Good kitty. In some places, rangers have taken to just shooting poachers on sight, and it's been quite effective. I can't say I feel any sympathy for the twats getting lit up by rangers. Fucking heartless dirtbags. Especially people who cut off shark fins or elephant tusks and just leave them to fucking die. Perfect example of people whose grave I'd like to spit on. Televangelists. Give me tons of money and God will reward you. Oh, no rewards yet? That's 'cause you haven't given in not yet. I don't know if this is a profession in the normal sense of the word, but child beauty pageant organizers, judges, and anyone else who profits from this grotesque practice. It's a felony in France to even plan one. Paparazzi. How is stalking legal for them? Televangelist priests who have hundreds of millions, don't pay taxes, and tell people they don't love God if they don't keep donating. Preach. Have a TV church. But don't scam people out of millions a month. There was one guy, Jesse Duplantis, who told his followers that God wanted him to have a new jet, and they needed to give him $54 mail to buy it because his current jet was outdated. Kenneth Copeland defended his jet, saying that he couldn't be expected to get on a crappy plane full of dope heads and demons. Excuse me? You mean the people who you're supposed to serve who send you money? Unethical animal breeders, e.g. puppy farmers. Animals are literally bred to suffer and live horrendous lives because of them. Mothers are forced to breed at unsustainable rates, and are often left malnourished and gravely ill. Their puppies develop serious illnesses very early in life, and many of them die within weeks of their adoption. It benefits nobody but the cruel, irresponsible breeders. Always check the background of your breeder before buying your new pet. Don't fucking buy puppies on Gumtree. My wife and I adopted a female dachshund for $50 that had obviously been used for breeding, although we didn't know this at the time. None of the pictures showed how malnourished and overbred she was. Turned out she was pregnant, and then we had one single puppy a few months later. The mom is living out her senior days happily basking in the sun. We estimate she's about 14, 15 in age. We also still have the puppy as well. Glad we were able to get her and give her a better life. Alternative healers that talk people out of seeking real medical treatment. Also see chiropractors above. In-laws spent $$ because one told them he could cure sister-in-law's type 1 diabetes when she was a kid. She ended up in the ER. They had spent thousands. A different one told a neighbor that her cancer could be cured by doing cleanses, having chiro adjustments, and taking some of those voodoo pills. She was gone in 6 months, with stage 1 breast cancer. Ugh, like the fucking charlatan who scammed my husband's aunt out of what little money she had left when she was dying of metastatic colon cancer? Gave her 4 immunotherapy. That was just high-dose vitamins to a peripheral 4 that definitely didn't do anything. The 4 site got infected and they took no responsibility. All they took was $10,000 per treatment. My husband's cousins had a fucking GoFundMe set up for this nonsense. Makes me so mad. Especially as the only actual doctor in the entire extended family. Health insurance agents that deny health insurance for cost reasons. They shouldn't even exist. If I pay for insurance, and my doctor asks for a procedure, it's the job of the insurance to pay. End of story. This happened to my husband. Was denied a prosthetic leg multiple times because it wasn't necessary for daily life. Thought Kaiser. I'm in the middle of this right now. I don't know what it's like elsewhere in the world, but health insurance in the US is absolutely disgusting. Anyone who thinks otherwise hasn't had to deal with it much. People that create artificial scarcity. De Beers is a good case study in this, with diamonds. They created serious market demand through wildly successful advertising and control much of the world's diamond supply. Knew a guy who worked for a company that sold social media bots and other means of boosting accounts. Whatever that job is, I hate it. Religious leaders who take advantage of their followers. People who code malware. 100% agree. Super smart people except they program to steal passwords and bank account info. Gossip show hosts. People who run puppy farms. They're all cunts. Self-help gurus. Just MFs that start cults. Not really a specific profession, but people in higher political power who would rather hire family members and close friends with no experience or qualifications than over actual people who are qualified and have experience. That's why nothing gets done in my small community. Medical debt collectors. There is an entire industry dedicated to collecting debt from people who owe money for medical bills. People whose job is to hound those who got sick or injured and couldn't pay for it. Imagine this. Imagine being the person who repeatedly calls a single mom whose kid needed an ambulance ride, threatens to file suit, get a judgment, and garnish her wages. Burn in hell, medical debt collectors. Towing companies. It's a service that is necessary, but their practices are predatory and unethical. They prey on people who've just been in car accidents and rack up thousands from people down on their luck. What is one profession that you have absolutely zero respect for? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.